Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Today I want to share with you guys another great product that I'm going to use in my home, and this is a light by Sansi. Now, if you haven't heard of Sansi, I've reviewed their products in the past, and Sansi is kind of like my go-to when it comes to smart LED lighting. Now, when I say smart, it's not Wi-Fi controlled, although you can make it if you want to add it to an outdoor smart switch or whatnot. The sky's kind of limit with that stuff. This is just a standard on-off motion sensing dusk to dawn light, and this is the box right here. Now I'm going to crack this open and show you guys this in a second. Now, Sansi is a great company, and what I love about Sansi is that they're all over Amazon, they're all over eBay, and they have their own website. And what's great about Sansi is the fact that they make a very high-quality lighting system for really a very affordable price. What's nice about the LED lights, not only are they super efficient, but they have a very long lifespan. And what's great about them is that in order for you to get the amount of output that you would want in a security light, back in the day with standard incandescent lights, you would have to get a 250 watt equivalent. Not only is that inefficient, but if you're a type of person who's like, I don't really care about the inefficiency, I want that maximum light output, they produce a lot of heat. So you have to be really careful where you mount lights like that. The amount of heat generated by a 250 watt bulb is pretty high. I don't have the exact temperature, but I mean, to get that amount of output out of a light, they have to burn brighter, so to speak. And so it's what's great about LED lights. They naturally do generate heat, but nowhere near the amount of heat that you're going to get out of an incandescent light. They're efficient, they're super powerful, they're long lasting, and they're just very reliable. And this is a light that and I've reviewed a lot of different lights, and there's pros and cons to many different brands, especially when it comes to smart home standard screw-in bulbs. What's nice about Sansi is that they kind of have their niche where they make high quality LED lights, but really bright ones, higher power equivalents. And so this one is equivalent to a 250 watt outdoor security light. And let's face it, a lot of the lights that I've had before LEDs have really taken off, before they've come down a lot in price, the maximum I'd have is maybe 100 watts. This puts out a lot of light output. Now, I have reviewed lights comparable to this in the past. I'm well aware what the light output is. I have one at my folks' house from a different company that actually burned out. I mean, it was only up for maybe a month, and already it's burned out. I mean, so one nice thing about Sansi is that now it's kind of an off-brand. Nice thing about Sansi, you're getting a brand that backs their product. You're going to get a reliable product's going to last you a long time. And if you have a problem with it, they've been around for a while. You're not going to have a company that's just like, yeah, I bought this from some eBay seller. I don't know who they are. You have a warranty with these. So as far as warranty, you get a 5-year warranty. So very important. Hold on to your paperwork, your receipt, hold on to your box just in case. I was pretty surprised the other brand, and I forget which brand it was because I installed it. I had the thing sitting around for, I don't know, maybe a couple of years. And my folks, my sister, you know, comes up to the house, my brother-in-law, and it's kind of dark out front. So they wanted something that's going to put out a lot of light. And they had some old halogens there. And they just, you know, because anything that puts out more light that burns brighter and an incandescent that draws more wattage doesn't last as long. So the nice thing about these is they last a very long time, except for the one that I put up the other day. I mean, literally, it was up there a month, and it's already burned out. So I wish I could remember who I got it from. I just don't know, and it doesn't have any markings on it. Hopefully, when I take it down and inspect it, maybe I can find something, because it's really unacceptable. With Sansi, you're not going to have that problem. So let's bust it out. So let's take a look at it. And I want to bust up this video today because I was going to put this at my house, but I am going to move this up to my parents' house because this has got a very wide light pattern. And so I want to use this on their driveway, which illuminate the entire front yard and driveway. And these are great because nice thing about stuff like this is why I recommend this for every home. If you don't have one already, get one, because you know a lot of homes will have your security lights, and then you're going to have your standard like coach lights or more of your decorative lights. And what I do is I have those front door lights, those decorative lights around the garage, the backyard that are blended to the house. They're part of the house, and they give about 40 watts. It makes the house so it's not dark. It gives a little bit of that security. But if somebody wanted to test, I guess put it to the test and come up there and walk onto my property anyway, it comes alive. So that's what's nice about these lights, is that they come on and then they turn off. So you want to put these in an area where potentially you might have some foot traffic. My parents have woods behind their house. I have a fenced-in backyard. So I want those layers of security, lights, cameras. In the event that somebody comes lurking around, it's going to be very difficult for them to make a move. You know what I mean? So let's take a look at what we have here. And let's see here. So naturally you get your instruction manual. And then, well, a little disappointing here. They were going to send me the black one. I shouldn't say disappointing, actually. Now that I think about it, I spoke to... See, this is the thing. When you go and get... When I order something, if I don't get exactly what I ordered or requested, I get a little bent out of shape. But I'm actually, now that I think about it, pretty glad they sent me this color. They are available in what I thought was white and black. And the one I requested was actually, I think it was the black version. Because they didn't have, I don't think they had this one in this particular fitment or this particular output. But either way, they sent me the gray one. So depending on, I guess they must make this in a white, gray, and black. So I didn't see this listed on the website. Let me get the box out of the way here. Standard hardware, seal, electrical connections. You guys don't really need to see that. So this is it right here. And this is absolutely fantastic. Huge, nice wide beam pattern on this thing. You can see it has 4 LEDs on each side. And what's great about this is when I mount this, this is going to be able to give a huge wide flood pattern across the entire property. A lot of lights that you see outdoors, you know, when you have your standard floodlight bulbs, the beam pattern, you know, they're decent, but they don't get the spread that something like this will get. Really wide, and this thing is going to put out, again, 3,600 lumens. Let's see here. So you have so a little bit more about the specifics on the light here. Let me just go show you guys what it looks like close up here. Sansi kind of makes their lights very open. They're made of plastic, so they're very easy to mount. A lot of the lights that I've seen in the past are made of metal. And metal, you know, kind of does break down over time depending on what it's made of. You get some rust problems because these things are subjected to weather and stuff like that. And so what I like about the plastic ones is that when I'm mounting these, they're very easy to mount. They're lightweight. And, you know, they stand up with the test of time. Sansi's lights are kind of unique in the way that they use their LEDs. So they actually don't use any kind of large reflector. The reflector is actually designed inside this array of LED bulbs within each bulb itself. So each one of these has, what do we got? 8, 4, 5, 6. So we have 8 LED lights. And I believe these are, I don't know if these are chip on board or if these are Cree. What does it say here? It doesn't look like it says here. These look like they're Cree LEDs, but don't quote me on that at all quite yet. What's cool about them is you can see all the venting. So this thing naturally, it's weatherproof, of course. You have an IP, I think it's 67 IP. What do they have? IP65 weatherproof rating. So this you can put outside. It's obviously it's designed for outside, but you can put it outside where it's going to get maybe no protection from, you know, your overhang, depending on where you're mounting this. Everybody's house is different. Some people may have a house without an overhang. You might be mounting this where it is going to be subjected to a lot of moisture. This is okay for that. Not a problem. You have again the IP65 weather or water resistance. One screw in the middle to mount this. So depending on your situation, if you have a box. You can use the attached bracket and seal. In my situation, what I do with these is because my parents don't have a box on the front of their house, they have an outlet that they put in when they built the house for Christmas lights. What I do is I wire an industrial electrical cord to this, an extension cord, with your ground, of course your hot, and of course your neutral or your neutral. And then what I do is I basically just cut these wires so they're inside the device itself. I use the twist connectors, and basically I just drill a hole right in the top of this, and I run the extension out, and I plug it into a switched extension that they just leave on. So it does have a motion sensor, as you can see. And one thing I will say about this is because these are mainly designed to be mounted on a wall, one thing I noticed about the other light that I had, and we're going to put this to the test here in a second, is that the last light that was up there, although it didn't last very long, it still produced a lot of light. The mounting position of the light wasn't designed to be mounted underneath an overhang. And so the problem with that was, naturally, it still worked fine, but you were limited as far as how you could rotate the lights. So let's see what this is going to be like, because everybody's situation is different. You may be having, and this is something that I want to pass on, and we'll see if this works for what I'm going to be doing with it. Something to pass on to Sansi is, because this is how we learn, guys. This is how companies learn, by getting real-world reviews by people. And one thing that I had of a problem with several different LED lights is when you mount it like this on an overhang, you lose the ability to really adjust these lights how they were designed to be adjusted. So let's just see what this looks like. So if it's going to be mounted like this, let's see what kind of adjustment we can get. So far we get a pretty wide, we can still get a pretty wide, so we can't adjust it down. So that's unfortunate. So one thing I would say that they should incorporate is the ability to really rotate these things left and right. Obviously you can't twist these. But if you were mounting it like they recommend on the side of a wall, if that's your situation, you would put them like this, and you can adjust them kind of, I guess, like this if you want. Of course, that looks kind of funny. You'd mainly want to adjust them like this. But still, you can see it's going to give a really wide, huge beam angle. And again, they say 180 degrees. That really depends on how you adjust these. Naturally, if you mounted these, well, I guess that's about right. So yeah, no, that makes sense. So about 180 degrees. So that's the maximum amount of light you can get if you adjusted them like this. The only real adjustment you can get is up and down. So you can point this, closer to the ground or further out. If you were to adjust it like this, I'm not sure why you would do that. Maybe if you wanted to throw more light up into the sky. So again, pretty cool light. I'm sure this will work perfectly for what I'm going to be doing with it. But I think that this is something that, as a company, they should really take into consideration. That somebody might want to maybe turn these more sideways. And I'm pretty sure that this obviously wasn't. There's another company that I'm working with as well, and they're going to be sending me some more bulbs. And I believe that the one that they're sending me has the ability to turn these completely sideways. So I guess you could do that like this, but so yeah. So if you turn these, so that's kind of odd. So you can see I'm getting confused as I'm making the video. So if you wanted to put these at an angle where they're completely off to the side, and I'm not sure why you would do that. Maybe if you had this mounted on a corner of your house, or you want to throw light sideways, I guess if you had this on the corner, you could throw light forward or all the way out to the side. But I would like to see a little more angle adjustment in this. What I'd like to see is once you mount these on the side of your wall like this, that you'd be able to actually turn these sideways like this rather than have to turn them like this. So you can't actually adjust this in the wide beam, or I'm probably saying this incorrectly, but the wide beam pattern at the widest, I guess, landscape mode. You have to put it more in portrait, so to speak, and you can turn it like this, and you can't adjust it down. There's a lock on that. So, and I understand why they did that, because they don't want you to damage the wires in any way, but they should have more rotation in that. So that's just my opinion. Again, this is for most people's needs. This is going to work fine. Now let's talk about how I'm going to mount this. I'm going to be mounting it like this. So this is going to have to come. See, already we're having a little bit of an issue. So I'm going to have to mount this backwards and mount it upside down like this. This is what I did with the other one. It seemed to work. All right, so I twisted that, and this thing actually popped loose. So let's see if we can just pop that out like a joint. Okay, so we can pop it back in, so that's cool. So that's nice. The other light didn't allow me to actually pop this joint out. Even though it has a screw, the other one had a screw, it just wouldn't do that. So this allowed me to flip this completely around, and let's see how this will adjust. So naturally, you're going to have an even wider beam pattern here, because once we try to adjust these in, you can see that this is going to be really pointing out quite a bit. The only way to get around this is to point it further down like this. So that's probably what I'm going to have to do there. So I'm just going to have to play with it, but you can kind of see where the issue lies, that if you have a situation like I do, where I'm mounting this underneath an awning, or not an awning, but an overhang, even if flipping the motion sensor, it gets in the way. So I'm going to pop that back the other way and probably mount it upside down, like so. And I think just by adjusting it properly, I'll still be able to, this isn't rocket science, so even if this is designed to be used in the opposite direction, you can still adjust it further down where it'll pick up motion, because obviously you have enough adjustment there to pick up any motion that's going to be in front of this. And then this will allow me to bring the beam up a little bit. So that's probably how I'm going to mount it. That should be okay. Yeah, I think that'll work. So anyway, guys, again, pretty cool light. I know that these are going to put out, this is going to put out a lot light output. Again, the only downside to this light, I would say, is just the ability to really adjust it every way, every possible way you'd want to. With this particular light, you know, I understand why they put those locks on it because, you know, common sense, people are going to grab this thing. And if you had full adjustment, they're going to twist it, eventually snap the wire. So they put that rotation lock on there so you don't actually keep twisting it. But I would like to see that go further. This is set at like the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock positions where they have the locks. I can actually grind that down if I wanted to do that, which I may, which allow me to twist it further. Again, common sense is if you do alter this in any way, naturally, you know, you don't keep on twisting it. I would probably put a little bit of a mark on there, knowing that, you know, if I twist it all the way one way, not to keep going around in 360 degrees, because you're eventually going to snap the wires. It's so tight. But with this, what I can do is just kind of clip this lower one off. This will prevent the stop from hitting the 6 o'clock position, and then I'd be able to rotate it all the way around to the 12, but there's still a stop on top. So I'm not sure why they did it that way, but that's going to be my alteration to get this thing to do exactly what I want it to do. So a little bit more on the video. So I'm trying to do this video, and I got to be somewhere, so I'm trying to cut it short here. But sorry if I'm a little bit scattered on this. So a little bit more about this light. It's $60 shipped to your door with Amazon Prime. Right now you have a coupon available. It's APRFRI 20, which will save you 20% on this. So that's pretty good. A little bit more about it. 180-degree angle, as I mentioned already. 50 feet max on the, I guess, the motion sensing. You have a 36-watt LED floodlight. It's rated at 3,600 lumens, which is equivalent to 250 watts of an incandescent light. They say that this will save you money. It'll last 22.8 years on an average of 3 hours a day, which is mainly how people use these. They only come on. You're probably lucky if you probably won't even use it 3 hours a day unless you live in an area which gets a lot of traffic and it's going to be coming on, off. You can set this for dusk to dawn, as far as I know here. Let me see if they mention that. They don't mention in description. At least I don't see it here. Maybe I'm missing it here. Let's see here. I just want to make sure that. All right, so yeah, so they do have dusk to dawn. So you can have it in test mode, which will turn on with motion during the day or during the night. You have auto mode, which you'll turn it on at night. It'll go into the auto mode where if the sensor detects motion, it'll light it for 1 to 10 minutes. You have on time mode, which it can be used as a standard LED light, which I think that means basically you could turn it on or off at your own discretion. So if you want to put this like in an area where, let's say for me, I would want it in that particular on time mode because I would only want this on if I need to have that extra light in the backyard. I don't want this for my situation. If I was going to put this in the backyard, I don't want it to come on when I'm out there entertaining or hanging out, having a barbecue. I want those nice subtle string lights that give light, but they're more comfortable. This is going to be very blinding, very bright. So it's really designed to come on or off when you actually need it, to really illuminate an area, then turn off. Again, it depends on how your situation, how you may want to use it. Then dusk to dawn, it'll come on at night, stay on, and in the morning it'll turn off. So 4 different modes depending on your situation. I'm going to have it in the dusk to dawn sensor mode. So basically this thing will become active at night and then will only turn on with motion. So if somebody pulls in the driveway, it's going to be well illuminated. So that's about it, guys. I want to thank Sansi again for the generosity in sending me this light. I'm looking forward to testing this out. I am going to put this up tonight and take some pictures. I will link this on my Instagram account. If you haven't followed me on there, follow me on there as well. Sometimes when I put up a video, guys, you guys know I record raw, unedited. And sometimes when I get something, I would love to be able to say, hey, you know, here's this light, and then go ahead and show you guys the install and do all that. But for me, I like to pump out a lot of videos, and for me, it's just I don't want to get involved in the editing and all that kind of stuff. I'd rather just, you know, introduce the product to you guys, help you guys on a one-to-one basis. If you have a comment, drop a comment. I can always help you guys. If you have any questions, drop me an email. My email address is in the description of every video. Very easy to get information out of me. And if I don't have the answer, I'll go ahead and pass that on. As far as the Kelvin temperature on this, I'm just seeing on the back here, it's 5,000 K. So that's going to be closer to white, more of a bright, not bluish, but more your natural daylight. If you want something that's more warm, this probably isn't the light for you. So keep that in mind. Some folks are very particular. They want that warm light. But guys, with security lights, again, remember, they're not on all the time, although you can have this on all the time if you want. But most people are going to use this with the dusk to dawn sensor function. Now, if you have like a shop out somewhere in the back of your property, you might want it on all the time. But natural 5,000 K is it's going to be more natural daylight. That's what I use on my outside lights. For the inside, I use the warmer ones because they're more comfortable, more pleasing to the eye, at least for my taste. So again, I want to thank Sansi for the generosity in sending me this to review. I will take a few pictures. They will be on Instagram. I'll upload them to my Facebook account as well. Find me on there, Fat Cat Collections, on both those platforms. I'm always there to help, guys. And as always, have a wonderful day and take care.